Hey everybody, Bones here, Bones Garage, just bringing you update what's going on at the garage. So, 1972 Buick Riviera with the 455. Well, you can see we have a few parts off of this car on the front of the motor. Problem we had is I took her out for 2 drives, never got over about 55, 60. With those drives, everything looked great. Took her out on the 3rd drive, had her up to about 80. Got off the road. I only went about 2 miles at that speed. Got off the road, got off the exit, opened up the hood, took a look around, and I found oil splattered all over the frame, everything down in this area. So I went ahead and cleaned everything up, threw some dye in the oil, took her for another drive. Nothing happened at low speeds. Everything was good. Well, we had a couple of days of real heavy rain. So I said, you know what? Let me try something. I took the PCV system off of the carburetor and the intake manifold, and I just let it run natural. Just letting the crankcase air out on its own. I let it run. I brought the RPM up to about 2,500 and just held it there for a little bit. Got my little black light out, went back under the car. Afterwards, I shut the car down, got back out, blah, blah, blah. I look underneath and oil everywhere. So I start looking around, because again, we put the dye, it takes a black light to see the dye. And I saw the dye on this is your harmonic balance. It goes on the front of the crankshaft and it sits in front of the timing cover right here. And I saw the dye all coming out all around here. Now, if I get my black light, hold on, let me go grab my black light. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have a black light. Normally you would wear the yellow glasses, you can see it better. But you see all the dye, you see all the color, how it fluoresces. That is all the dye. That is all the oil that was coming out of the front main seal off the crankcase. This is an original seal, and you can see it's broken in the middle. This is an original felt seal. It would have sat inside here, and back then all you did was take the seals out, put a new seal in there, and you were done. This is broken. That is where all the oil was coming out, and why it wasn't coming out at low speeds was because we have a positive crank ventilation system. That's PCV, positive crank ventilation system on these cars. And what it does is it creates a vacuum or a low pressure inside the motor so you don't blow out your oil seals. Well, when we disconnect it, we now have a bit of pressure inside the motor. You can have 1-2 pounds per square inch, sometimes more depending on the motor. So what was happening is when you're hard on the motor, your vacuum is really low. Your vacuum being low means that you're not going to be pulling as much vacuum into the inside of the motor. So when you're at an idle, your vacuum is real high. That means you have a lot of vacuum inside the motor from the PCV system. When I disconnected it, brought the RPMs up, the inside of the crankcase started to pressurize, and that's what pulled the oil out of in between here and the timing cover and the seal. Now remember, the harmonic balancer goes over here, and that is where the harmonic balancer sits on the end of the crankshaft. And then this seal sits inside here, which then sits around this, like that. This is your harmonic balancer. This goes over your crankshaft, and then there's a big bolt that holds it in. So with that is why the oil was coming out. And you can't see this seal when it's inside the car. When everything's all together, you really can't see that seal, so there's no way to tell that this seal is bad. And it was. So that's why we had to take everything back apart to fix this problem. We thought the problem was just originally in the oil pan to timing cover gasket. So we just tightened everything down there. Ran the car, everything looked good at low speeds. Wasn't until I hit the highway and started cruising with traffic that we found the problem. So there you go, guys. It is what it is. Have fun. We'll keep you up to date as we go. Oh, and we're going to also be replacing the timing chain while I have it apart. As you can see, it has quite a bit of play in it. It should be it should be even tighter than what's on this side. It should almost be like a guitar string. But you can see how much play this thing has in it, how much it's stretched over the years. So there you go, guys. Keep you updated as we go. Have fun. Okay, bye.